Humble prostrations to one and all present here. Topic of this talk is the avatar of Lord Krishna. First of all, we have to understand what is the difference between Janma of a Jiva and Avatara of Ishvara, birth of an individual soul and incarnation of an Avatara. What is the difference? So mainly there are three differences. The first one, Kāraṇa bhed, difference with respect to cause. Second one, svarupa bhed, difference with respect to nature. And third one, ūdeśa bhed, difference with respect to purpose. So let us discuss the first one, Kāraṇa bhed. What is the difference between Jivatma and Paramātmā with respect to cause? What is that which causes their birth? What is that which causes their entry into this world? So as far as Jivatma is concerned, we say Ajnana is the cause. Avidya is the cause. Ignorance is the cause. We don't know our true nature. We are actually Ananda Swarupa. This we don't know. So therefore we start seeking happiness from outer world. So as Bhagwan Shankaracharya used to say, avidya, kama, karma, they always go together. Wherever there is avidya, ignorance, there is kama, there is desire for the world. And when there is a desire for the world, action in the world follows. So ignorance, desire, action. So because we are not aware of our true nature, we are born into this world. So the cause of our birth is ignorance of our own true nature. What about the cause of Bhagwan? Is he born because he is ignorant? No. As far as Bhagwan is concerned, knowledge is the cause of his birth. We can say compassion is the cause of his birth. Compassion for the suffering humanity. So there is a difference. As far as a jiva is concerned, he falls into the samsara, whereas Bhagwan's entry into the samsara is deliberate, conscious descendants. It is exact like there is a difference between falling into a well and getting down into a well. When we are falling into a well, there is helplessness there. When we are getting down, there is no helplessness. It is a conscious choice. So this is difference with respect to cause, Kāraṇa bhed. Second is difference with respect to nature, svarupa bhed. What is the nature of a jivatma? He is alpatnya, alpashaktiman, alpavyapi, mayadasa. These are all the terms given. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know about himself. He doesn't know about the world. He doesn't know anything about what Ishvara is, the cause of himself or the world. He doesn't know the purpose of life. He doesn't know anything. His powers are also limited. Abilities are limited. Talents are limited. Alpashaktiman he is. He is imperfect, limited by all means. And also he is Maya Dasa, a slave of Maya, a slave of Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsarya, a slave of likes and dislikes, Ragadvesha, a slave of Ahankara, Mamakara. This is called as being a slave of Maya, being a slave of this world. What about Bhagwan? Bhagwan is not Maya Dasa, he is Maya Pati, the Lord of Maya. Ajopi san avyayatma, bhutanam ishwaropi san, prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. Though I am unborn, Arjuna, Though I am imperishable, Bhutanam Ishvara, I am the Lord of this universe. But even then, keeping my Maya under my control, keeping my Prakriti under my control, I manifest myself, Bhagwan says. Now, this is called as Maya Pati. So therefore, as far as Bhagwan is concerned, he decides in which body he should be born, when he should be born, to which parents he should be born, how long he should remain upon earth, how he should die, how he should leave the body. Everything Bhagavan decides. What all he must do while he is alive in the world. This is called as being Maya Pati, the master of Maya. And therefore he is Sarvajna, all knowing, Sarvashaktiman, all powerful. So there is a huge difference between a jiva and Ishvara. Both of them may appear to be in a human form, but there is a huge difference. It is like two mobile phones. One mobile phone is connected to the internet, the other mobile phone is not connected to the internet. There is a huge difference. Both of them may appear alike, but there is a huge difference. Puja Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya used to beautifully explain this concept of Maya Pati and Maya Dasa. So there was this father who was going along with his son. As they were walking, they saw one person being chained, carried by two policemen. So then the son asked, Father, who is he? So the father said, My dear son, he is a thief. That is why he is being carried away by policemen. He is surrounded by policemen. After some time, the boy sees another person surrounded by four policemen. So he asks, Father, who is this person? So father says, My dear son, he is a bigger thief because more policemen are surrounding him. He's a bigger thief. So the son concludes, the more the number of policemen around, the greater will be that criminal. And as they were walking, they found another person surrounded by hundreds of policemen. So this son said, Father, see, the greatest thief is going. Then father said, Fool, shut up. He is not the thief. He is the president of this nation. So what is the difference between the president and a thief? Both of them are surrounded by police. The difference is, as far as thief is concerned, he is controlled by police. As far as president is concerned, he controls the police. There is a difference. In the same way, even though Bhagwan is there in the physical form, in a human body, he controls Maya. He is not controlled by Maya. But as far as a Jivatma is concerned, he is controlled by Maya. Maya Dasa versus Maya Pati. So this is difference with respect to svarupa, nature. Now the third one is difference with respect to ūdeśa. What is the purpose of coming to this world? So as far as the Jivatma is concerned, the purpose of coming to this world is threefold. Number one, to fulfill the unfulfilled desires of the past. So there are so many unfulfilled desires in his past incarnation. So he comes in order to fulfill his desires. This is number one. Number two, he comes in order to go through the prarabdha karma. Because for every karma, there is a karma phala. So he has to go through that karma phala. That karma phala is called prarabdha. So therefore, it is this prarabdha karma which is bringing him to this world. Second reason. And third reason, we are all coming into this world in order to evolve. All of us have to evolve. We are all travelers. We are traveling from tamas to rajas to sattva to trigunatita. We are traveling from ignorance to knowledge. We are traveling from sorrow to joy, to bliss. We are traveling from the state of Jivatma to the state of Paramātmā. Till we reach God, this traveling will continue in many births. We are traveling from imperfection to perfection. We are traveling from finitude to infinity. This is our travel. So therefore, we are born into this world in order to evolve, in order to attain the highest state of existence. And this happens when we merge with the infinite Lord. What about Ishvara? Why is he coming to this world? Is he coming to fulfill the unfulfilled desire? No, because Bhagwan has no desires at all. He is totally desireless because he is infinite bliss. A person who is in infinite bliss cannot have any desire. So there is no desire for him to fulfill. Is he coming to go through his prarabdha karma? No, Bhagwan has no karma at all. He is ever akarta abhokta. Is he coming to evolve? No, he has already attained the state of highest evolution. Then why is Bhagwan born? So one reason is dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. For establishing peace and harmony in the world, for establishing dharma, righteousness, he is born. Also, he is born in order to attract the minds of the devotees and thus make their mind single pointed in devotion and thus to liberate them. This is another thing. So when he is born, he does a lot of Leelas, and these Leelas are very sweet, and the devotees are able to love God, develop devotion for God through these Leelas. And this devotion makes their mind single pointed. When a person leaves the body fully focused upon the Lord, single pointedly focusing the mind upon the Lord, then that person attains moksha. So for liberating all these beings, Bhagavan takes avatar. So therefore, there is a huge difference between Janma of a Jiva and Avatar of Ishvara. Now we are talking of the avatar of Lord Krishna. What kind of avatar is it? So we say Bhagwan's avatar is Pūrṇa avatar. Bhagwan Ramchandraji's and Bhagwan Krishna's avatar we consider as a Pūrṇa avatar. So that means there are different types of avatars. Yes, there are so many different types of avatars. The first is called Pūrṇa avatar. Second is called Amsha avatar or Kala avatar. The third one is called Āveś avatar. The fourth one is called Nitya avatar. And fifth one is called Archa avatar. So what is the first one? Pūrṇa avatar. In Pūrṇa avatar, Bhagwan is born as a child and he goes through different stages like any other human being. So he is born as a child to parents, then he grows, does all Balalilas, then he enters into Grihasthashram, and slowly he sets an example of how we must live our life. So wherever we find such complete biography of Bhagwan from birth to death, then we say it is Pūrṇa avatar. Bhagwan Sri Krishna's and Bhagwan Ramchandraji's avatar is called Pūrṇa avatar. Then we have Amsha avatar, Kala avatar. When there is a particular purpose, when Bhagwan takes avatar, just exhibiting a little bit of his glory, Amsha, then that is called as Amsha avatar. For example, avatar of Veda Vyasa Rishi was Amsha avatar. At that time, it was necessary that somebody should compile all the Vedas. The knowledge was getting destroyed. It should be protected for the future generation. So therefore, Veda Vyasa appeared with brilliant intellect and wrote all the Puranas, compiled the Vedas, wrote Brahma Sutras. So this is called as Amsha avatar. The next one is called Āveś avatar. A particular situation came where Bhagwan had to manifest. It was unplanned. The best example is Narasimha avatar. When the devotee said, yes, Bhagwan is everywhere. Yes, in this pillar also Bhagwan is present. No, it was totally unplanned. And then Bhagwan had to take an avatar from the pillar. That is called as Āveś avatar. Then the fourth one is called Nitya avatar. All the great saints and sages who regularly come in order to show the right way to the erring humanity. All the saints and sages are called Nitya avatar. And the fifth one is called Archa avatar. Archa means archana, worship, a form which is available for our worship. So all the deities in temples, they are archavatars of the Lord. So now we are discussing Krishna avatar. So what is the avatar of Krishna? So we say it is Pūrṇa avatar. Right. Now, when Bhagwan took avatar in Dwapara Yuga, it is said that very, very rare few people only knew that this person is an avatar of the Lord. Bhagwan himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti ma mudhaha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajanantah mama bhuta maheshwaram, Bhagwan says. Ordinary people think that I'm an ordinary person and therefore they disregard me, ignore me. They don't know that I'm the Lord of this universe. This particular aspect is beautifully discussed in Bhagavatam also. So after the war, Bhishma Pitama was lying down on the battlefield, on the bed of arrows. He was just waiting for that Uttarayana Kala. He was lying down there. The war was already over. Pandavas had won. So it was at this time that Yudhishthira became extremely agitated after the war because he saw death and destruction everywhere. He saw so many women becoming widows, children becoming orphans. So he was extremely disturbed. So that disturbance which Arjuna felt in the beginning of the war, Yudhishthira feels at the end of the war. So he was unconsolable. Veda Vyasa Rishi himself came to console him. He was not consoled. Bhagwan himself came, Krishna himself. But his mind was not at peace. It was actually a Leela of the Lord. He wanted to show the world one of the greatest devotees of Bhagwan, Bhishma Pitama. His glory had to be manifest to the world. So Bhagwan was doing a Leela. So then Krishna Bhagwan said, Yudhishthira, there is one person now who is waiting in the battlefield to leave the body. We must immediately go and meet him. He is the right person to clear all your doubts. And thus, Yudhishthira, Pandavas, they go to the battlefield. And by then, all the great Rishi Munis had gathered there because Bhishma Pitama was lying down. All the great Rishis, Vyasa Rishi, Sugabrahma Rishi, Parashurama Rishi, the big list given, Vasishtha Rishi. They were all waiting for this great person to leave the body. So on the bed of arrows, Bhishma was lying, and the moment his eyes fell on Krishna, it is said in Bhagavatam that he mentally prostrated to that form of the Lord which is outside, and then he closed his eyes and prostrated to that very same Lord who is present in his own heart. Bhishma was that person who knew that this form is not an ordinary human form, it is Bhagwan himself. That Lord who is seated in the hearts of everyone, he himself has taken a form and he has manifested himself in the outer world. So he prostrated unto that Bhagavan. Then his eyes fall upon Pandavas. And when his eyes fall upon Pandavas, his eyes become filled with tears. He becomes emotional. So he says, Vipradharmachutas Ashrayaha. This is the term used there in Bhagavatam. Oh Pandavas, you have always taken refuge at the lotus feet of the holy people, saintly people. You have always taken refuge unto Dharma, and you have always taken refuge unto Bhagavan. And in spite of all that, you have to undergo so much of sorrow. So thinking of the sorrow, Bhishma is crying on the battlefield. And then comes Yudhishthira. He asks so many questions. And all these questions are beautifully answered by Bhishma. And finally, the parting message of Bhishma was, Yudhishthira, now you must take care of this entire, all your subjects like a father taking care of his beloved son. So much of love you must take care, and you will have a lot of difficulties. During these difficulties, what you should do, see this person who is standing next to you. Don't think that he's your friend, he's your charioteer, he's your relative. No, 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 no. He's not an ordinary human being. He is actually in disguise. he is none other than Bhagwan himself, Narayana himself. Hmm. He is in disguise now. Actually, very, very rare few people only know that he is Bhagwan. Very rare few people like Narada Rishi, Vyasa Rishi, etc. Most of them, they even don't know that he is Bhagwan himself. So therefore, whenever you have problem, turn to him, hold on to him. Rule your country by holding on to Bhagwan alone. This was the parting message of Bhishma to Yudhishthira. And as we all know, it is at this time that Bhishma comes out with Vishnu Sahasranam, the 1,000 names of the Lord. So Bhagwan was there, and literally Bhishma was glorifying that Bhagwan through 1,000 different names. This happened just before leaving the physical body. So there it is said that Bhishma Pitama fixes his attention upon Bhagwan. He commands the Lord to stand in front of him. You see, Bhagwan says, Aham bhakta paradhinaha. I am helpless in front of my devotee. Whatever my devotee says, I will have to do. So there Bhishma commands Krishna, Krishna, stand in front of me, looking at you, glorifying you, doing your stuti, fixing my thought, word, and deed upon you. I want to leave the body. So that's the time when Uttarayana comes, and Bhishma Pitama, Manasa Vacha Karmana, fixing upon the Lord, he leaves the body. So this is the glory of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. He was an avatar. Now we will see some Leelas of the Lord, some of the, what you call as, some of the promises which Bhagwan has taken. So one such this thing is, Aham Bhakta Paradhina. In front of my devotees, I am helpless. I am a servant of my devotees. These are the promises of the Lord. And in very many cases, we see this. So, what is the best example? There are so many examples. The one example is the Gopi example. It is said that the gopis, out of their love for Krishna, used to make him dance to their tunes. They used to make him sing, they used to make him dance, they used to make him so many things. All because of love, Krishna would do everything. And the second best example of this statement is Vidura's wife. It is said that when Bhagwan became a Duta, just before the war, they were trying to settle the argument in a peaceful way. So Bhagwan was chosen as a Duta to argue for Pandavas. So when Bhagwan came to Hastinapura, Duryodhana wanted to, wanted Bhagwan to stay in his palace. But then Krishna refuses it and he goes to that small hut of Vidura, because Vidura was a great devotee. So what Bhagwan loves is not comforts and luxuries, etc. What Bhagwan loves is the devotion of the devotee. And it is said there, when Bhagwan entered Vidura's house, Vidura's wife was there. She was so excited seeing Bhagwan, so overpowered by devotion for Bhagwan, that she peels a banana, and instead of giving banana to the Lord, she gives the peel of the banana. It's a very famous story. And what does Bhagwan do? He eats that peel. He never complains. So this is the best example of that famous verse in Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahritam asnami prayatatmanah. Arjuna, whatever you offer, patram, it can be a leaf, pushpam, a flower, phalam, a fruit, or just toyam, just water. Whatever you offer, it doesn't matter. What I see is with what attitude you offer. Yome bhaktya prayachati. I am craving for that bhakti in my bhaktas. And whoever offers whatever, I eat. What do I eat? Not the thing, but the devotion behind that thing. I accept the devotion. So this Vidura story is the best one. Aham bhakta paradhina. Another famous story which we remember is Bhagwan, in order to keep up the promise of his devotee, breaks his own promise. And this happens in the case of Bhishma. In the battlefield, Bhishma had taken a vow that I will make Bhagwan take weapon. Bhagwan had taken a vow that I will never touch any weapon. In the whole of the war, I am not going to take weapon. This was the vow taken by Bhagwan. Bhishma takes another vow, I will make Bhagwan take weapon. And one of the days, maybe I think ninth day or something, Bhishma fights so valiantly that Pandavas were literally helpless in front of this Bhishma. Bhagwan understood that if I don't interfere, this person will completely wipe out the Pandava forces. And there comes Bhagwan with a wheel in hand, charging towards Bhishma. And there's a description of Bhagwan, his armor torn apart by Bhishma's arrows, sweat, sweat droplets shining like pearl upon his forehead, his hair covered with dust, his uttariya, the upper garment, fallen. And here is Bhagwan charging towards Bhishma with wheel in hand, as though he is going to destroy Bhishma there itself. And Bhishma, what does he do? Immediately he keeps his bow and arrow down and say, Bhagwan, what greater blessing can be for a Kshatriya than to die at the hands of the Lord himself? So, there Bhagwan breaks his vow. What is the purpose? The purpose is only one. My devotee's promise should not be broken. My devotee's promise is more important than my promise. This is called as Aham Bhakta Paradhinaha. And of course, there are so many stories. Another story is about Draupadi in that evil assembly. When she was disrobed, Bhagwan broke all the laws of cosmos. At that time, what avatar was necessary? Vastra avatar was necessary. Bhagwan became Vastra. Right. There are so many instances where Bhagwan breaks all the rules in order to protect his devotee. Another famous statement of Bhagwan is Name Bhakta Pranashyati. My devotee shall never perish. Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. I look after the welfare and well-being of my devotees. Macchitta Sarvadurgani Mat Prasadat Tarishyasi. Whoever fixes their mind upon me, such a devotee, I make them overcome all difficulties. I make them successful. And the best example is this war itself. As far as Pandavas were considered, they had only 7 Akshauhinis, whereas Kauravas had 11 Akshauhinis. So by all means, Kaurava forces were well advanced, well prepared. They had all advanced weapons, and not only that, they had weapons, they had invincible warriors in them. Bhishma was invincible. Nobody could kill him. Drona was invincible. Nobody could kill him. Jayadratha was invincible. Karna was invincible. So it was literally a war impossible to win. But this one man made all the difference. Bhagwan Sri Krishna. In fact, before the war itself, Bhagwan assures Arjuna, Tasmat muttishta yashola bhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham mayevete nihata purvameva nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. Arjuna, you just become my nimitta, an instrument in front. All these invincibles, Bhishma, Drona, Jayadratha, Karna, I have already killed them. You just shoot some arrows and they will fall dead. You see? Bhagwan empowers us. This is what Bhagwan does. Once he has given us a responsibility, once we have surrendered unto Bhagwan, then Bhagwan gives us the strength, the knowledge, the resources in order to fulfill our responsibility successfully. This is what happens when we surrender unto the Lord. And yes, this is the most important condition. Only then Bhagwan can enter into our life and help us. What is the most important condition, which is time and again mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, in all scriptures? The most important condition is surrender unto me. Mam ekam sharanam braja. Surrender unto me. Everywhere you will find this. Surrender unto me, and the rest I will take care. In Bhagavad Gita, you will find in the first chapter, Arjuna doesn't surrender. In first chapter, Arjuna is talking. He is giving advice to Krishna. He is teaching Krishna. Krishna, this war is not good. It is not right. We are killing our near and dear ones. We are killing our teachers. This is not right, etc., etc., etc. What did Bhagwan do? Bhagwan understood that surrender is not there. He just kept quiet. And what is the name of this chapter, the first chapter? Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna is drowning in sorrow. And this is where most of us are. Without Bhagavan, we have messed up our life with sorrows and miseries. It is all because there is no surrender. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna surrenders. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Bhagavan, I am totally confused. I am not able to clearly decide what is right, what is wrong. I am not even able to stand up. I am not even able to hold the bow and arrow. Bhagavan, please guide me. From here, Bhagavan enters into the life of Arjuna. From here onwards, Bhagavad Gita teaching starts. And from here onwards, Arjuna starts getting more and more clarity, more and more strength, more and more cheerfulness. And we can see the mood of Arjuna changing chapter after chapter. And finally, Arjuna says, Bhagavan, all confusions are gone. Karishye vachanam tava, whatever you say, I am ready to do it. See that transformation that happens. This is exactly what happens in our life also. As long as we keep Bhagavan away, we are miserable, confused. But the more and more we surrender unto God, the more and more light comes into our life. Everything becomes clear. There is clarity, there is cheerfulness, there is enthusiasm, there is progress materially and spiritually. So, therefore, the most important thing in life to be done is complete surrender unto the Lord. Only then He can operate. Suppose there is a drowning person. What is he supposed to do? He has to extend his hand, then only others can pull him out. That extension of hand is called surrender. There is something which we have to do, only then Bhagwan can do something. A person who is suffering in the dark room, what is he supposed to do? Open the windows and doors. Sunlight is already there. That sunlight cannot open the window and door for you. The person who is suffering in the dark has to open. So there is something which we have to do, and there is something which Bhagwan has to do. Bhagwan is doing what he is supposed to do. We need to do only what we are supposed to do. Right. So this understanding has to be there. Now, there are certain allegations regarding Bhagwan. What is the allegation? The allegation is Pandavas won the war through all unrighteous means. This is one allegation. And superficially, if you see, this is true. Almost 6 warriors were killed through adharma. Bhishma was killed through adharma. Drona was killed through adharma. Bhurishravas was killed through adharma. Kāraṇa was killed through adharma. Duryodhana was killed through adharma. I'm not going into all details because I'm sure you know, or you just read Mahabharata and you will come to. Jayadratha was killed through adharma. 6 warriors were killed. So this is the allegation against Bhagavan, that he does adharma. See, is it possible that Bhagavan can ever do adharma? Bhagavan is an embodiment of dharma. How can an embodiment of dharma do adharma? It is exactly like saying that this light has darkness in it. Light and darkness can never go together. In the same way, Bhagavan and adharma can never go together. Then why is it that we say adharma? See, in our little minds, little intellect, as we say, we are all alpatnyas, only little we know. Whereas Bhagavan is sarvatnya. So is it possible that Sarvajna Bhagwan can do adharma? It is impossible. And that is why when Bhagwan told Arjuna, chop the head of this Karna, who is trying to lift the wheel, Arjuna did not question Bhagwan. Arjuna just surrendered unto Bhagwan, because if Bhagwan says it, that itself is dharma. Complete obedience, complete surrender. This is what we see in Arjuna. And that is why Bhagwan gives the highest knowledge to Arjuna. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Arjuna, I am giving this self-knowledge, which is the highest knowledge, the greatest secret, the ultimate knowledge which can liberate a person. This knowledge I am giving it to you because you are my devotee, you are my closest friend. Arjuna shows this qualification through surrender. That famous story where Arjuna and Duryodhana comes to Krishna just before the war. Duryodhana said, Krishna, you must fight for me. Arjuna said, Bhagwan, you must fight for me. So Krishna made it very clear. See, okay, fine. Now I cannot, what you call, I cannot displease both of you. So let me make it very clear. I will not take any weapon, but my army is the Narayani Sena. You choose which one you want. Do you want me or do you want my Narayani Sena? Narayani Sena is a very well advanced army. My army I will give it. On the other side, I will be there without taking weapon. What did Duryodhana feel? He was a pakka worldly person. Either what is the use of this man if he is not going to take weapon, and that too in the battlefield? In the battlefield, you want fighting people. So what did Duryodhana do? He chose that Sena, the army of Bhagwan, whereas Arjuna made it very clear, Bhagwan, whether you take weapon or not, you just be with us. That is more than sufficient. In fact, you be my charioteer so that you are always with me. I don't want to miss you. Now, this is called love, This is the expression of greatest devotion. So any person who surrenders unto Bhagwan, listens to Bhagwan, is obedient to Bhagwan, then such a person will always experience the grace and blessings of Bhagwan. This is what we see in the lives of all great devotees. Now, somebody may say, Bhagwan, we are so unfortunate. In the Dwapara Yuga, you were born, and we all are born, unfortunately, in Kali Yuga. This is one of the complaints of all the immature devotees. I should have been born along with you, like, Gopalaka Balas, playing with you in Vrindavana, etc. Bhagavan, I am so unfortunate. I could not be born. I could not have your vision of that physical form, etc., etc., etc. So these complaints come only from people who have not understood who Bhagavan is in reality. How is Bhagavan describing himself in Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavan says, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashe Sthitaha. Arjuna, I am the very Atma in every one of the living beings. I am there in the heart. As the very consciousness in everyone, I am there. So how is Bhagavan describing himself? Not as this form, that Krishna form. No, Bhagavan is describing himself as the very self in everyone. Now tell me, is this self in us there or not? Every moment it is there. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati. In the heart of everyone, I am there. So throughout, kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. In all the bodies, understand me to be the knower of everything. That knower, that is me. So see, so therefore, to say that Bhagwan is not with us, such a devotee is an immature devotee. He has no idea about who Bhagwan Sri Krishna is. It is all because we have not studied the scriptures that we have no understanding about Bhagwan Krishna. Okay, so Bhagwan is always with us. Now, to conclude, one more topic I will take. If you see Bhagwan Krishna's avatar, what is that striking feature which pops out? One striking feature is never you will find Krishna crying. He was always smiling. He was always amid sorrows and miseries and tragedies. But here is a person who is always smiling. This is one striking feature of Krishna. He celebrated his life. He was an embodiment of joy. Where was he born? Right in prison, in a jail. Right? So the beginning itself begins with a tragedy. And then how did he end his life? Just before he giving up his life, he saw his own children and grandchildren fighting amongst themselves and killing. Just imagine what can be a greater sorrow for a parent, for a person, his own children and grandchildren fighting and killing themselves. What can be a greater sorrow? In the battlefield also, Arjuna was collapsing, Bhagavan was smiling. Prahasan iva bharata, that's the term used. So this is one striking feature of Bhagavan. Amidst all calamities, tragedies, difficulties, here is a man who is smiling. Another striking feature is the detachment of Bhagavan. He was completely detached. As I said, children and grandchildren fighting and killing themselves, he is absolutely unaffected. In Bhagavatam it is said, in fact, Bhagavan himself destroyed the Yadavas. This is said in Bhagavatam. It was his will that Yadavas also should perish. And the example given there is, like the small fish eaten away by big fish, and then finally you have only monstrous fishes in the water, and finally they fight among themselves and kill. So in the same way, using the Yadava Vamsha, he destroyed all the other arrogant kings. And finally, among Yadava Vamsha itself, he created that fight and destroyed all the arrogant ones there. So this is the way Bhagavan dealt with his Vamsha. And how did he deal with his own body? So there is another example given in Bhagavatam. Suppose your foot is, stuck in some thorns, lot of thorns are there. So what do? You take one thorn, you remove all the thorns, and finally you drop that thorn also, with which all the thorns are removed, isn't it? In the same way, Bhagavan took up a form, he did all his job, and finally that form also was dropped cheerfully. That beautiful form also he drops. So there you find Bhagavan's detachment there. Though he was in the world, he was untouched by the world. Padma patramiva ambhasa, like the lotus flower, growing in dirty water, but untouched by dirty water. Growing in stinking water, but bringing out only fragrance. Growing in tasteless water, but bringing out only the taste of honey for which the bees come. Ever open to the light of knowledge, ever close to the darkness of ignorance. This was how Bhagavan lived. And this was how Bhagavan inspired generations after generation to live, to follow his path. So where is that Bhagavan? That Bhagavan is always with us. He is ever guiding us as the very voice of conscience. That voice which we feel, that voice which clearly makes us very clear what is the right path, what is the wrong path, what we should do, what we should not do. There is a voice which is constantly guiding us every moment. So anyone who is tuned to that voice, anyone who can look within, anyone who can listen to this voice, that person will clearly feel the presence of that Bhagavan. So let us not say that Bhagavan was born in Dwapara Yuga and everything is over. No, Bhagavan is there every moment. The purpose of Avatar was only to say that, oh my dear children, I am always with you. So in order to tell that a physical form was necessary, so he took a physical form, gave this advice, dropped that form. So now it is our job to practice that knowledge and to feel the presence of the Lord in our hearts. So, in this regard, I sincerely invoke the grace of the Lord and the blessings of the entire Guru Parampara. Hari Om. Thank you. Now we have some time for questions.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. That was a very insightful session, and I don't think we could have had a better topic to start our lecture series with. So thank you so much for that. We have a few questions, and I think the first question combined two questions. Two main things that you mentioned was bhakti, that is the love for Bhagwan, and surrendering onto God, right? So when we look at a day-to-day life of people, how can one slowly start developing the feeling of bhakti? And I just feel that once they stumble onto that, the love just grows within. And also surrendering onto God, that concept, we hear that a lot, but what is a practical step that someone can do on a day-to-day basis that is aligned with surrendering onto God?
So, the question is how to develop love, how to develop surrender, isn't it? See, in order to know the glory of God, you will have to test God. How to test God? He has made so many promises. Name bhakta pranashyati, yoga kshemam vahamyam. Test him. So whenever you have problem, take that problem to Bhagwan and see whether he is solving it or not. And amazingly, you will find the moment you sincerely take the problem to God and seek a favorable answer, you start getting answers. Miraculously, your problems start getting solved. Either the problem itself vanishes or you are empowered to face the problems. It just comes. The resources come, the strength come, the idea come, the knowledge come, everything comes. So then you come to know that yes, there is somebody who is listening to my prayers. There is someone. So the best way to start in the path of devotion is become an Artha Bhakta, Artharthi Bhakta. Whatever desires you have, try to fulfill it through God. Whatever problems you have, try to seek solutions through God. It is said that if you take one step, Bhagwan take 10 steps towards you. So you just have to start. Test God. In the beginning, you don't have to have faith in God. Just test. And when you see results, then slowly the faith starts becoming strong. Your relationships with God start becoming strong. Your love for God also increases because there is somebody who is looking after me, somebody who is taking care of me in this world, and somebody who is always with me. So slowly, the relationship grows, the trust grows, and then devotion and surrender becomes natural. This is how everyone has to start.
Thank you. The next question is, most people, even though they want to put in maximum efforts, prayatnam, when they start the task for various reasons, the laziness creeps in, and we often rely on Bhagavan's Karunyam to get the maximum results. How can one break away from this vicious cycle?
So, here, what is the problem? Laziness?
Yes, I believe so.
Laziness is the problem. So, lack of inspiration is the problem. So, let us do one thing. Let us say, Bhagwan, give me inspiration. At least let us pray in this way. Bhagwan, I have no inspiration at all. I'm absolutely lazy. So, let me do what I can do. So, in order to gain inspiration, Bhagwan, I will do this tapas. So, for example, I will chant Vishnu Sahasranama, I will chant Lalita Sahasranama, or I will fast. Some tapas you take up with a sankalpa that Bhagwan, I want this. Then you see whether the results come or not. So you have to start somewhere.
So I know we have 4 more minutes left, so we'll take a few more questions. So the next one is from Satiji, and the question is, some say Krishna is the only Pūrṇa avatar. Some say both Rama and Krishna are avatar. Can you please clarify the confusion?
See, I have already clarified. So if there is a problem regarding Pūrṇa Avatar, you will have to ask that person, what is your definition about Pūrṇa Avatar? First comes definition. What is your definition? So I have already given my definition. Where there is Pūrṇatvam in that life. So childhood is there, then Grihasthashrama is there, so many stages are there. All these stages when an avatar goes through, then that is called as Pūrṇa Avatar. With all power, with all strength, all knowledge. So in this sense, we should say that Rama and Krishna, both of them are Pūrṇa avatars. So whenever people have any questions, first you have to say, what is your definition about Pūrṇa avatar? Only then the rest of the answers can be given. Yes.
Thank you. And the next one is, why Lord did not give Upadesham to Yudhishthira before the war?
See, when that person becomes ripe for knowledge, qualified for knowledge, then even Bhagwan did not give Upadesha to Arjuna himself. Almost 12, 13 years they were together. They were in the forest. They had nothing else to do. Actually, Bhagwan could have started this topic. But why is it that Bhagwan chose only that battlefield in order to instruct Arjuna? Many, many times, we are not prepared for knowledge. It is exact like food. If there is no hunger, we will have no value for food. Isn't it? So in the same way, Bhagwan alone, no, he is the Antaryami. He is in the heart of everyone. He knows who is the one who is fit for this knowledge. A person who already has knowledge, you need not give. A person who has no value for knowledge, you need not give. A person who is distracted or considers something else as important, you need not give. So there are so many reasons why a knowledge need not be given. But when a person can find peace only and only with knowledge, and that was the state where Arjuna was, so then Bhagwan gave that knowledge. You see, Yudhishthira wanted that knowledge after the war. So again, the right teacher is also important. The right frame of mind, and you must have the right teacher also. For Yudhishthira, Bhishma was appointed as the guru in the battlefield. See? So whatever Bhagwan does is perfect because he is the one who is there in the hearts of everyone. He knows everything about everyone. So whatever decision he takes, that is the right decision.
I think we can take one last question. So this is from Siniji. Why or how a jivatma becomes ignorant and forgets its original nature?
So the answer is, it was never that at some point of time ignorance began. No, ignorance is beginningless. Just like our ignorance of Spanish or Greek is beginningless. You can't say that it began at some point of time. So therefore, jivahood is beginningless. It is not that sometime I was Paramātmā, then I became Jivatma, then no. I was ever Jivatma only, from the beginningless past. This is how the scriptures have answered this question.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. I think we're at 9 o'clock. Do you like to conclude with the Shanti mantra?
Yes. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Pūrṇamadah Pūrṇamidam Pūrṇāt Pūrṇamudachyate Pūrṇasya Pūrṇamadāya Pūrṇamevāvaṣiṣyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.